This Shadow Dragon is not able to play here as on many weekends as he was previously. So we got Flexi, who's going to be the new third here on Team Sapphire. Hopefully, it does not put too much of a detriment to their offense, because Shadow Dragon does do well with his 50-50s, and it looks like it's not stopping them at all, as Azriel's going to get the first goal.
Boost is still challenging on the ball, and I guess the defenders didn't know that he could do that, so that's a 1-goal lead for them, already showing that they can keep this up even with the sub.
Indeed, and of course we got on the side of Team Purple, we got Chaos Mag, Billy Too Silly, and Dev Norma. Remember, both of these teams ended up winning their match last week, so now they're going to see whoever wins this best of 5 will move on to the playoffs. Whoever loses will have to go to week 3 to fight for a spot in that playoff bracket. In your opinion, Benji, on how the series is going so far, who do you think is going to get there?
I think this match, not judged by the scoreline, but this is going to be a pretty close match, because as you said, both these teams have won a match. Even if they had any pressure coming into this is basically a little bit of a pre-show to see who can be the best team in Havoc, because as you said, both these teams have already won, so the winner of this will be, at this moment, the best team in Academy.
Indeed, and I cannot wait to see how well all of these teams play and continue to improve throughout the entire season. But the star player on Team Sapphire from last week, Loki, putting in shots. And remember, Team Purple, they're not a team to slouch at. It just looks like Team Sapphire is just on a whole different level at this moment in time.
I think Azriel is playing very good. He has 100% goal participation, and it's only been 40 seconds, so this man is just popping off right now. See what he can do for the rest of the series.
That's going to be another shot on target. It's going to be another miss by Billy Too Silly. Chaos Mac does get a touch on it. Can he recover in time? Billy Too Silly actually pool shots bumps him into the save, so that's going to be an amazing save there from Team Purple. However, the pressure is still piling on here from Team Sapphire. Benji, at this moment in time, what does Team Purple have to do to get rid of this pressure?
This is more of a case of Team Purple's defense is lacking, and Team Sapphire is just capitalizing on every single mistake, because these are hits that Team Purple should be making and can make. But as you can see, an incredible shot off the backboard from Billy. This is the offense that they need, and they're ramping up. They still have lots of time in this game. They still have over half the game left, so they can definitely make a comeback in this game.
How did they go from looking like they're plat on defense to scoring an amazing double tap? Academy will never fail to amaze me. But now to get into the rest of the game, we're not even halfway through yet, and it's already a 4-goal game. Academy, definitely really fun to watch. All these players looking very mechanical, have been putting in the hours, trying to improve to the best of their ability, and we're definitely seeing it right here.
Who do you think has to step up on this Team Purple squad to try and get the win for this team? Because I think it's Billy right now, because he is just popping off. He's already brought them back within 1-goal distance.
I concur. Billy Too Silly, he got the double tap. He's already showing so much aggression, so much confidence. If he can keep that confidence up, then we can definitely see them not just come back in this game, but take the series for themselves.
If they are always on offense, then maybe they don't even have to have a good defense. They can just always be on offense. As they say, the best defense is a good offense, so we'll see if that actually applies to this team. As they are back on defense, though, Flex going for a shot, gets the shot. Incredible save, but he has the rebound. Azriel still 100% goal participation, 3 goals for himself. That's the hat trick for him.
Azriel really stepping up to the plate here. Already has a hat trick on the board. Definitely looking very consistent going into this game, and he's already doing an amazing job, leading his team now to a 2-goal lead once more. However, with half the game still left to go, Billy Too Silly and the rest of his squad still have a chance to come back in this.
They definitely do. I think their defense still has to be a little bit worked on, but their offense is just the peak of their performance. And another goal. He fakes out the first defender and just jukes by the second one. They are just a clinic on how to play offense, but their defense is a little bit lacking, which is definitely their downfall. But they still have an incredible offense showing.
Yes, as we saw right there, Chaos Mac with the fake, and then he flicks it on target. Sometimes that's all it takes when you play at these lower levels, is just learning to put the ball on target. If you look at teams like Team Cyan, for example, they do really well against lower level teams because they know they can just launch the ball down the field, and if it's on target, it'll most likely go into the back of the net, which is something that you should know a lot about since you, of course, are on the starting roster for that team.
That is true. Our playstyle is more of just consistently play these basic mechanics, and they will have to outclass you, which if you're playing against a lower level team, they cannot outclass you. So it doesn't take that much to beat those teams, even if they are really improving, which they definitely are.
Indeed. So, however, we of course have seen from the main league, we have our two teams that are in the bottom two right now for the main league play, where if they end up not being able to get out of that spot by the end of the split, they'll end up going to the promotion relegation tournament. And those teams are Team Aqua and Team Green. Do you think the top teams in Academy could hold up to the skill level of Team Green or Team Aqua?
That's a little bit of an own goal, but I do think that the top teams in Academy and the bottom teams in Havoc or Havoc Main League are extremely close. And though it may not seem like it with our last promotion relegation tournament, where both Havoc teams actually stayed in Main League, both these teams always have a chance to make it into the Main League. That's the goal for Academy, is to make it into the Main League. That's the main goal. So, and these teams are showing it with a 3-5 scoreline.
Indeed, but now with 2 minutes left to go, we finally reach the midway point. Back to a 2-goal lead here. Billy Tucilia looking for another double tap. Back out mid to Dev. Norbert isn't going to be able to get back to the ball. Azriel trying to maintain possession. Should be leaving it for Flexi, but ends up staying on the ball himself. Taking time, pops it into an air dribble. Looking for a shot. It's going to be saved away. No, it's actually another own goal. And Azriel will get another goal on the board right there. The defense, just the individual skill is not enough at this moment in time.
One man cannot carry his team, and we can see here there's just a little bit of mistrust in his team. Case Mac actually went for the ball, even though his teammate did get a touch, and if he actually just stayed back post, he would have gotten an easy clear.
That is very true, but now with a minute 45 seconds to go, it's going to be Team Purple. They're going to have to try and scramble back to get back into this game number 1. Otherwise, it's going to be game 1 going over to the likes of Team Sapphire. And we saw last week when Team Sapphire got their first win, they started to pop off. And it looks like that's going to be another own goal. Just the shooting on target. As we said, Benji, just being able to shoot the ball on target, sometimes it's just enough against these Academy teams, and they aren't able to get back to it. And there we go, game number 1. Looking solidly in the hands of Team Sapphire.
I think a case for Team Purple here is just you gotta move on to the next game. You gotta realize this game is basically over, and you don't want to waste your energy on a game that's just over. So they just gotta focus towards the next game and say, hey, we can just practice for the rest of the game, see what we can work on this game, and then carry it into the next game.
Overall, I exactly agree. They got to make sure they just move on, keep up the mentality, because if they drop their mentality, they're only going to go further down that hole. However, they have solid mechanics. You have to wonder, maybe when it comes to defense, maybe the panic sets in and they aren't able to focus on their mechanics. Maybe if they can just make sure they don't panic on the defensive end, they'll be able to start doing stuff like this, being able to get those aerial touches that they need to be able to get to offense.
I do think that is definitely true. These teams, they're not as used to certain situations like playing on stream and stuff like that, so they may have some just a little bit panic, a little bit nervous when playing. So they just gotta realize, hey, we just gotta play normal, play like it's 0-0 all the time. Just play normal. So that's what they gotta do, and I think that definitely could help them going to the next games.
Azriel drops it down, and that's going to be another goal on the board. 5 goal differential right now. Oh my goodness. Azriel really stepping up to the plate. He definitely looks like he's a GC1 on a C3 level team. Of course, it's both Loki and his teammate are C2, C3. They are able to play with a low GC1, which Azriel is. However, the person who I really want to highlight, not in this game, Azriel, of course, has put the ball on target at the very end of it, but Loki, he's been opening up space, looking for those demos and getting those passes. Without Loki, Azriel's not scoring those goals.
Loki is the X factor for this team. He can make any situation basically, even on defense, on offense, he can just be the clutch factor for his team. So he is definitely the impact player for his team, and I think that he is a really kind of an underrated player. There's a lot of teams that have those underrated players that do so much for the team, but it's not very flashy. Like Azriel, he has over 1,000 points, but Loki is just playing that middleman and doing all the things that really nobody else can. I'd say the most important players on each team.
Indeed. Now ball's going to get popped over. 5 minutes on the clock once again. It's going to be Flexi this time. Ball back over into the middle. Azriel now back over to KS Mac. KS Mac looks for a shot. It's going to be on target. Billy can't get back to the ball, and Azriel will get a first goal on the board.
What a great goal from Azriel, still showing that he still has incredible accuracy, and Billy tries to get the save. He barely doesn't get it, but I guess that's showing that their defense is at least getting better. They're getting closer to the ball instead of ungoaling it, so maybe we'll see a turnaround for their defense. Who knows?
Yes, and I do have to wonder, unless this ball goes straight
Oh.
in, Dev Norbert right off the kickoff will get a goal. Dev Norbert definitely reminds me of that Nate type of player. If you guys don't know Nate, he was the Season 2 winner. Team 4 ended up winning in Season 2. Very solid team at the very end, but no one expected them to win at that moment in time. And Dev Norbert reminds me of that player. Nate, not the flashiest player. Maybe he whiffs the ball sometimes, but when it comes down to it, he will win kickoffs and win games. However, right after we talk about Dev Norbert, we go right back to Flexi as he manages to get the go-ahead goal once again.
So this is what I love about these academy games. Since it's a just objectively lower level of gameplay, there's so many more goals and so many more chances just to show what you can do. Because in the higher level, in the main league, it's just these teams are so evenly matched that they just always are really close to each other. These teams, they know how to fight back with each other and they know how to get goals. And so this is very high scoring game so far.
Yeah, even though they are objectively lower ranked than, for example, main league, it doesn't mean that this is not any less exciting to watch. It's definitely fun watching all these academy teams doing their best to use their mechanics because, I mean, everybody jokes around that Plats can flip reset now, and these guys are all diamond. They grew up in terms of Rocket League during that era where flip resets were done by Plats and everything like that. They got their mechanics. Now it's just about getting those smarts and getting that consistency up.
Definitely. I think a lot of these players are just, they're growing up in these times where, like, it is mechanics based. It is, I think a lot of people do this, myself included, where a little bit more focused on mechanics and fancier styles of play than actual mastering the basics. And so a lot of these, like, players, they are in these lower ranks where they know how to do these incredible mechanical feats that some even high rank players don't know how to do yet.
And yeah, that's sometimes why once players get up to, some players can get all the way up to GC3 on smarts alone, but then they have to spend hours and thousands of hours just to get their mechanics up to where they need to be to get even further. But a lot of these players, they're starting off with the mechanics, so if they can just progress their smarts throughout the rest of the season, we'll not just see the goals in academy games like this, maybe some academy teams can pull upset against main league teams.
I think definitely this is probably the biggest contender to make an upset and make it to the main league. This team is definitely the highest ranked team, but sometimes rank doesn't always matter. You can always just have a team-based playstyle that works in. But this team, they are showing why they are the best team, and the scoreline is, it's close, but these teams are just all the offense. And another double touch just barely misses the shot, but it's just showing more offensive pressure and mechanics.
And with all these goals Team Sapphire is scoring, if they manage to win this series in a sweep, that pretty much solidifies them as first seed going to that playoffs, meaning that they get the easier run to that grand finals. Remember, every team is playing for points. Even though everybody does want to say that they are a Havoc tournament winner, at the same time they are playing for points. For example, first place is going to get a lot more points than second, third, or fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh, and eighth, where all these teams are playing for those points to get to that promotion relegation tournament. The top two teams with points by the end of all 3 academy tournaments is going to make it to that promotion relegation playoff. And Benji, in your opinion, how do you think that'll affect teams' mentalities throughout the weeks now that they're playing for points rather than wins?
I think definitely the points-based format will put a little bit of, it could go either ways, but less pressure, more pressure, because say a team wins the first week, they don't necessarily have to perform at the highest level the next weekend, because they have already solidified a bunch of points. But say a team doesn't do good in the first week, then maybe they have to perform a lot harder in the second week to do better.
Exactly, and here we go. We're in week 2 of the first tournament. All these tournaments will last 3 weeks long. We had the 4 matches last week, and then we'll have 4 matches this week. Then we'll have the last 2 Swiss matches in week 3, followed by the playoff
What
matches,
a
resulting in
pass.
5 total matches. But hold on one second. As you said, what a pass. Azriel in the air, gets the flip reset, passes it over to Loki, but Loki is the one who slots it in. Oh my goodness, that was an amazing play.
Loki didn't even have to move. That could be play of the day for Academy. That was a perfect pass-to-pass play right on his card. The absolute just knowledge of your team, the chemistry within the team to know, yeah, I got this flipper set. You can be there. It's so much trust put into the team.
Exactly. Now the match I'm really looking forward to here is I believe it's Team Black versus Team Sapphire. Team Black has Cannoli. They ended up getting second in the Academy League seeding tournament, only losing to Flu Esports White, who are, of course, now in the main league. But going into this rest of the season, Benji, how close do you think that match will end up being?
I think that match will also be another clash. Maybe closer to this match, but I think this match, there's still a chance. This team, I feel like you gotta slow this team down. You gotta maybe stop them from doing something. Maybe go for demos. Go for something that you haven't gone before. But that match will definitely be closer. Just it's a closer rank disparity instead of these teams. So we'll see.
At this moment in time, Loki is really setting up. He's the catalyst for his team, and he's just putting it in the back of the net every single time. We're seeing here that this is a big difference in Dev Norbert and his team. I believe they're around C1, Diamond 3, C2. There's a big difference between them and the C3s and C2s that we see on Team Sapphire at this moment in time.
We may have to reinstate the mercy rule if this keeps up. This is a blowout right now. I thought maybe they could pull it back within the first game because they were definitely showing goals. Within the first, I'd say 40 seconds, it was very close. It was a goal for each team, and I guess it's just a runaway now.
Indeed. Now, ball's going to get popped over, and it looks like we accidentally have a split controller that ended up joining, but it looks like he's left the match. But now 9-1. Team Sapphire trying to solidify themselves in that top seed, at least based on the game differentials. Of course, they could still lose this series in game, but if they make it to game number 3, this goal differential alone might solidify them as that first seed.
This is definitely they're winning the games, but this is more of a statement for the other higher teams like Team Black that we are just dominating this team who has already won a game. So this is a statement going out to all the other teams in Academy.
Exactly. Remember, this is technically first versus the 4th seed here after that first week. The teams that we see here, they both won their very first match. They're both 1-0 in the Swiss. But it just looks like that right now we may have a clearly defined top 2, especially if Team Black shows up in a little bit.
Definitely. I think this week is definitely a placement week. I think the first week maybe a little bit of wins that were very close, but this is a placement week. This is the week that you want to really perform to see where you will be in the standings for Academy.
Indeed, and I can't wait to see how well all these teams continue to progress. I mean, 9-1 with a minute left. This is not something we're used to seeing out of Academy. I mean, if you remember Academy last season, even the best team in Academy still couldn't score maybe more than a 3-goal lead. This is an 8-goal lead. Almost had bad caster math there in an Academy match. Oh my goodness.
It just goes to show how these teams have improved. Loki's been here for a very long time in Academy, and I think he's really wanting to get out of Academy. This could be a season, definitely. I think if these lower teams in actual main league are just sleeping and these are Academy teams, they aren't as good as us. If they have that mentality, then they are going to be having a rude awakening with these teams because this is a statement. In
Statement
10-1.
indeed. 10-1. I mean, I'm just going to reiterate that, Benji. It's 10-1. How close was the other game? Around like 3 goals at the or for the most part, they were only a 2-goal lead in game number 1.
Yeah.
But now, game number 2, it's a 9-goal lead, verging on the old Mercy Rule game goal differential that we used to have. If you guys were not here for seasons 1 through 4, we let Academy play in the main league in order to make sure that everybody got experience. And we actually had to have a mercy rule. If it ever got to a goal differential of +10, then that match would end and we'd go on to game number 2. It would still be the same series, of course, but we'd move on. That rule is no longer in.
So I think that's maybe what they can do, but there's a lot of different variety they can do.
Indeed, and now it's going to be over to if they can keep that variety on their own half, right? We see Millie Tusili, he got that double tap in game number 1. We haven't seen that since game number 1. It's just been pressure, pressure, pressure for Team Sapphire, and Team Sapphire looking to continue it from there. And it looks like Billy Tusili is going to start his pop-off maneuver by getting an own goal.
There has been quite a few own goals, more than the usual, so any new viewers, this is really not how Havoc Academy is, because these teams definitely, if you watched last season, it was a great last game, but these teams are definitely playing at the upper echelon of Rocket League, maybe not the highest like our main leagues, but they are still within the majority of players within Rocket League, so see.
And let's be honest, own goals happen all the time. We get another one there. That one is a little bit more of a forced one there by Dev Norbert. But of course, we know Turbo Pulsa, we know Sicky, we know Kronovi, all known for own goals. Oh, Leduc as well from the Oceania region as well. All of them known for getting own goals. And you know what? They still win games after they get those own goals. And maybe we're seeing an instance of that here. Right after we saw Billy Tusili own goal, here comes pop-off time.
Especially forgot to mention Sicky. The 9-minute overtime in RLCS Season 8. That's quite a sad one, but probably won't have as many overtimes in this game, but we'll see. I think this is how other games happen. The games before, it was very close within the first minute, and then I guess Team Sapphire just popped off and had that duo running, so we'll see if they can keep this game closer than the last ones.
It's mostly all on Team Sapphire. We saw last week they ended up losing a game to the team they faced off against. I don't completely remember the team they did face off against, but when they played against them, they weren't able to keep up the accuracy on their shooting throughout the entire series. They ended up losing one of the games just because they couldn't put the ball under the crossbar. So let's see if that's going to continue to be a pattern here as they've now reached Game 3. They're up 2-0. Maybe we see that pattern occur once again.
Definitely. I think accuracy is a very important part to play. You can get around the entire team, but if you miss the open net, you miss the open net. There's nothing really to say about that. So, accuracy can definitely plague some of these lower teams. So what a shot from Azrael. He's not inaccurate. He just top cornered that ball off I think a pre-flip off the wall and just dunked it on KSMAC.
Look at that right there from Azrael, popping it over. Oh my goodness, that's going to be top left corner. We always love to see accurate shots, and Azrael is popping off. But before we get back to this game, everybody, thank you guys so much for watching the stream. Benji and I are doing our best to do a good cast as I fail to speak English for you guys at this moment in time. We're enjoying casting for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching the stream. I know the players enjoy it as well. Thank you guys for being in chat. Remember, what are you guys' opinions? Do you guys think that Team Sapphire are going to win this in the sweep, or do you think that Team Purple are going to be able to scramble back from this 2-goal deficit that they're currently at? And Benji, back to you.
I think they can definitely come back. They just again need to neutralize Azrael. He is the offense for this entire team, and if they can start the offense going like that, Billy Too Silly with that double touch in game 1, I think that was also a very important goal for them because it brought the momentum back. But they need to get another momentum goal, maybe something just stylish, maybe to get their momentum back and their mentality back, because half the game is mentality. So maybe they're just not feeling it right now, but we'll see now. Pretty even so far. There hasn't been a goal in a couple of seconds, so that's good. But maybe Caster Curson gets a 50-50, so we're good. Chase Mack has the ball into the corner. Ball goes a little bit away from him, and it's a 50 in mid. Flexi now going for the ball, gets 50'd by Billy though. Maybe a pass downfield. Azrael booms the ball into the corner. Dev has the hit. Plays possession though. His teammate comes in to try and save him. And now Loki plays the ball mid. And Billy actually flexing, beats him to the ball, gets the dunk though. And this is actually really good showing from these teams. And no goal in a couple seconds, so I think maybe, just maybe, Team Purple actually figured them out a little bit and neutralized them.
Indeed, and now I'm honestly trying to think of a good matchup here before Team Purple. Assuming Team Purple lose this match, we have to remember the team that Team Loki faced last week in regards to Mosbit's team or Havoc Lime for the Academy League. And Team Lime did take a game off of them, whereas Team Purple faced off against Team Orange, who were listed as one of the lower seeds. So, honestly, Benji, who do you think would win out of Team Lime, who took a game off Team Loki, and Team Purple?
I think it's more of play. You have to play it to see it, because the results show that they definitely did take a game off them, but the game, they also are playing with a sub, so maybe they had a weaker roster, maybe a stronger roster. Who knows? But I think definitely... probably I'd say Team Lime, because Team Purple, they haven't really had that good of a showing. They've got a couple of goals, but they haven't been really able to be flexible against this team. They've lost a couple of games on very non-marginal scorelines, so their ability to adapt is lacking.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. The adaptation ability of Team Purple is not there. They might be able to do it against people their own skill level or rank, but when it comes to playing against them, even people who are just a little bit higher ranked than them, they just aren't able to adapt, and it's showing. They're keeping it close here in game number 3 compared to game 2, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough here as they're still down by 2 as the last minute occurs.
I think the next move for this team is to do some replay reviews, maybe get some coaching from our, we have a coaching system in Havoc, so maybe get some coaching from one of the coaches, and just see what they did wrong. And actually what I was thinking is they could go to the Lime versus Sapphire replay and see how did they take a game off them, what did they do that we aren't doing, and try and add that into their playstyle, and maybe be prepared for the next time they face off them.
Yep, and actually a little bit of trivia for everybody here. The Team Purple are a team of, I believe, 30-year-olds. And if I got their age wrong, then of course I apologize. But I believe their whole team are a bunch of 30-year-olds doing their best to just have fun and do their best to improve, as they have that competitive spirit. And as we can see, the competitive spirit is showing as they do manage to get the game back to a 2-goal deficit.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe we have a wide variety of age within Havoc, but even showing that even if you are a little bit of an older player, you still can have that competitive spirit and still keep this game close. This could be an incredible comeback and maybe the start of a reverse sweep.
Yeah, but before the reverse sweep's gonna happen, we gotta at least see them tie up the series first. Chat, you guys wrote them off. I see everybody saying that Sapphire's gonna win. I think we only got one vote for Team Purple in chat. Do you guys believe 30 seconds? Do you guys think they can get the tie? Will we have overtime? Benji, over to you.
Can the 30-year-old gets Dynasty try and get this last goal? They got 30 seconds, and they're actually still on offense, going for the shot. Tries to pass mid, but K-Sack actually isn't mid. Not enough reps in his team, and they have to just play full offense now. They got 20 seconds. Tie every single second they waste time, and now the ball is back on defense. They have to first get this ball out of defense, and he misses actually the shot. They still have time. Tries to get the dunk, and the shot selling towards the net. Billy with an incredible save. Loki going for the shot, just trying to waste time because he knows that he does not want to get this goal in. Billy goes for the block. They have to carry this all the way down the field. Azrael going for another shot, and that's another waste time. And
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Academy Week 2 Tournament 1 of Split 1. I know we got a lot of names here, but right now I'm being joined by definitely an MVP-worthy performance here from Azrael and, of course, my lovely co-caster Benji. Azrael, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you. So I guess to start right off the just to get right into the questions, what was it like? I don't remember how well you played last week, but going into week 2, how was it playing with Loki and Flexi going into your first ever match on stream?
It was definitely an awkward start. We scrimmed actually. I think it was Thursday, and we struggled a little bit, but as we began to play throughout Thursday and Friday, and even this morning, Sleepy and I were playing, and I think overall we were getting better as a team, learning each other's play style, and Loki is actually really good at creating space. That's what I like about his play style. So yeah,
Yeah, Loki definitely enabled you very much
yeah,
in regards to giving you space, looking for demos,
yeah.
hitting it off backboard. Benji, do you have anything you want to ask him?
I just want to ask you, what was it like between going in games? Because a lot of the games had very differing scores in. I think it was like 7-2 first game, and then
Yeah.
10-1 the second game. So what was it like just alternating between those scores and between games? And
Um, it's definitely I was not ready to start scoring like that. I will admit I was a little nervous going into all of this because I didn't know. This is my first week in. I've never seen anybody play, and I was a little surprised by those score differentials. But I do
nerves,
think they held very well in the first 2 games at the beginning, and then especially in the third game, they almost came back, which
so
was kind of scary.
do you think Team Purple has what it takes to actually make it to the playoffs and win next week?
Ooh. That's a hard question. I don't know who they're going up against. Like I said, I'm kind of new to this whole thing, but I do definitely think Billy's team can get there.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So now I guess since it's your first time on stream, you said you're a little nervous. What is it like playing on a stream? I think we peaked at around 40 viewers during one of your guys' matches. What was it like playing in front of that many people for your first time on stream?
I got used to it after a while. I actually have a YouTube channel, so I do upload videos, but I don't get anywhere near 40 views, so it was definitely something new to me.
And you said you
Uh,
had a YouTube channel. If you want to shout anything out, maybe YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, you can do that now.
Oh, thank you. My YouTube, I only have a YouTube. It is capital AZ and then lowercase RAEL, so Azrael. It would be a little hard to find. It has a blue logo with the white Azrael printed in the middle of it. So yeah, it might be a little tricky to find though.
Okay, thank you.
well, thank you.
Yep.
I hope you have a good rest of your night. Thank you for coming to the interview.
Yep, you too.
Well, there we go, Benji. That was the legend himself getting almost 3,000.